Do you really want somebody other than you to tell your child what to wear to school? School uniforms have been a hot topic, whether or not to implement them for kindergarten through 12th grade, or continue to let them select their own apparel as long as it is within the school's dress code policy. Many professionals in the education system believe school uniforms instill discipline and keep kids focused on their education. But enforcing uniform standards are not what we should be fixing on to break the cycle of violence, truancy, and disorder in the classroom. Today I will be discussing why school uniforms should not be considered in public school. The main points I will cover in my speech are the cost of uniforms, how uniforms do not benefit education or decrease bullying, and how uniforms undermine the student's individuality and goes against what our nation is trying to heal and instill our diversity. Let's begin with the cost of uniforms. Uniforms can be very costly. The expense for uniforms is a major concern for many families. According to the Education Cost Helper, parents can expect to spend about $600 annually per child. This includes 2 to 4 uniforms and accessories along with other clothing needs. Some parents believe that the uniforms are more cost effective than purchasing the latest stylish fashions that their children want. Other parents argue that the cost of uniforms is steep and that uniforms are not economical as they must purchase both a wardrobe for school and a casual wardrobe, as children do not or may not be permitted to wear uniforms outside of school. School uniforms are a financial burden to low-income families and emphasize the socioeconomic divisions that they are supposed to be eliminating. Dr. David Brunsma, the assistant professor at the University of Missouri, stated, "Uniforms cannot conceal the differences between the haves and the have-nots. Affluent families buy more uniforms per child. Less affluent usually only have 1 or 2 uniforms, which are more than likely to be tattered, torn, or faded." He further states, "It only takes 2 months for the socioeconomic differences to show back up again." And it's not what the child wears that makes the student. Many believe school uniforms will increase test scores and decrease violence and bullying in school. However, there's no solid evidence for this. In regards to education, in an academic journal by Gentile and Imberman, Dress for Success, a 2009 peer-reviewed study found no significant effects of school uniforms on performance of 2nd grade reading and mathematics examinations, as well as 10th grade reading, mathematics, science, and history examinations. In regards to violence and bullying, contrary to popular belief, even with uniforms on, certain children still get picked on by others. Cliques are still formed, and students will find ways through personality, height, weight, hairstyle, complexion, and financial status to pass judgment upon their peers. A child wearing a uniform can also be a target for bullying of students from a rival school. Dr. Brunsma reviewed past studies on the effects of uniforms on academic performance. He also conducted his own analysis of 2 enormous databases, the National Education and Early Childhood Longitudinal Studies. He concluded there is no positive correlation between uniforms and school safety or academic achievement. So let's talk about the most important factor here, your students. School uniforms promote conformity over individuality. Elementary, middle, and high school is a time of maturing physically, mentally, academically, and emotionally. Schools need to create an environment that encourages students' individuality and motivate them to challenge themselves and inspire confidence. School uniforms would end up diminishing creativity and self-expression of our young aspiring children. According to the Public School Review, the opponents of the public school uniforms, as outlined by the ACLU's argument of the First Amendment, states that uniforms stifle a student's need for self-expression. By denying students the opportunity to fully express their unique personality through the clothing they select, individualism is unable to develop to its fullest capacity. When children select their own clothing, they are able to develop confidence and independence and characteristics vital to personality development and adult success. Denying the students the ability to express individualism could stymie the student's transition from childhood to adulthood. Controlling the socialization process could harm the student as an adult, as they are not prepared for the real world. They will indeed be judged by their appearances. Schools must be the place where diversity is observed and learned. In review, we have discussed the concerns of school uniforms in that they are not cost effective, they are not the answer for a better education, and they do not reduce violence and bullying and may actually socially hamper your students' self-development. It's time we stop putting a one-size-fits-all band-aid of mandatory uniforms on the real problems in our educational institutions and confront each individual problem with a real solution. Thank you for watching.